We're counting down the 10 Aussie Christmas toys every kid wanted under the tree, but almost no one finds in shops today. From wild backyard fads and mischievous gadgets to playground status symbols and blink and you miss it crazes, these toys ruled catalogue wish lists, sparked sibling showdowns, and then quietly disappeared. Which childhood classic still leaves a mark, literally? Let's kick things off with number 10. Micro Machines. Playsets turned every Aussie living room into a miniature metropolis. The fold-out plastic case snapped open to reveal ramps, garages, and city streets, perfect for staging a Bathurst showdown right on the lounge rug. Those tiny 1:64 scale cars zipped across the carpet, lined up for races, or lost forever under the couch. Nothing said Christmas morning like circling the Kmart catalogue, plotting which city in a briefcase to beg for, and then hearing the unmistakable click lock as you packed it for a family drive. Stepping on one barefoot? That pain is burned into memory. Micro Machines faded when toys got louder and screens took over, but for a while, the carpet was your kingdom. Talkboy recorders were pure 90s mischief in a plastic shell. Inspired by Kevin's antics in Home Alone 2, kids everywhere wanted that chunky grey gadget with the big red record button and an extendable microphone. Suddenly, every bedroom became a radio station. Siblings got ambushed with fake interviews. Parents found their mixtapes taped over with chipmunk speed prank calls, and the rewind button copped a workout. The Talkboy's movie magic shot it to the top of Christmas wish lists, but its reign was short. Once mobile phones started recording voice notes and adding silly filters, the Talkboy faded fast. Still, nothing beat the thrill of hearing your own slowed down villain voice echo down the hallway. Sky dancers hit Aussie backyards like a glitter bomb. One yank on the ripcord and those pastel fairies would spin into the sky, wings sparkling, every kid yelling, "Ready," before ducking for cover. No one knew where they would land. Sometimes in the gutter, sometimes on the roof, and occasionally straight into a sibling's face. The chaos was legendary, but so were the injuries. By 1999, more than 8.7 million sky dancers were pulled from shelves worldwide after a wave of eye and face injuries, with Aussie families filing their own complaints to the ACCC. The fun crashed as quickly as the fairies did, a craze lost for a reason. Boxing Day always meant backyard chaos, cap guns blazing under the Hills hoist, and someone arguing over whether you could reload behind the shed. The red ring caps crackled with every pull, filling the air with that unmistakable smoky gunpowder smell. Half the fun was peeling the spent cap ring off and finding a fresh one in the packet. Holsters were prized, but realistic blasters started disappearing from Christmas catalogues after the late 90s. Australia's gun laws tightened after Port Arthur, and even though no one passed a law banning toy guns, retailers and parents got nervous. By 2010, new standards for projectile toys meant anything that could fire a cap or a dart had to pass safety tests, and over 11,000 toys were quietly pulled from shelves. Cap guns didn't go out with a bang, they just stopped turning up under the tree. Gigapets were the digital troublemakers dangling from every kid's backpack in 1997. 3 plastic buttons, a tiny pixelated screen, and a relentless beep that could cut through any classroom lesson. Feeding your virtual pet became a covert operation. One eye on the teacher, thumb ready to mash the reset if you got busted. The real panic hit during a trip to Nan's, when you realized you had left your pet at home and spent the whole visit convinced it was starving to death. Unlike their Tamagotchi cousins, Giga Pets didn't get the glory, but they were pure chaos gremlins, always on the brink of digital disaster. By 1998, the craze fizzled out, replaced by newer fads, but for a short, noisy window, every Aussie kid was living with beep guilt and low-level anxiety in their pocket. Pogs hit Aussie playgrounds like a neon hurricane. Every pocket was stuffed with stacks of milk cap discs, every hand itching for the next slam on the concrete. The clack of a metal slammer was the soundtrack of 1995. One good hit and your pile could double or vanish in a heartbeat. Trading went down with the intensity of a stock exchange, keepers, tradables, and the ever-elusive rare. But the chaos didn't stop at the bell. Teachers became Poldy bounty hunters, sweeping up discs after fights broke out or when someone accused their mate of cheating. Bans started rolling in, school by school, as principals declared Pogies playground gambling. For a moment, it was the original loot box. One pack could make or break your empire. Then, just as fast as it started, the craze evaporated, leaving only a few battered slammers at the bottom of someone's pencil case. Go-Go's, or Crazy Bones if you prefer the bootleg name, turned every Aussie playground into a trading floor. Each foil pack hid a mystery. Maybe just another common, maybe the rare that could buy you a sausage roll at the tuck shop. Flicking games on basketball court lines left knuckles raw and egos bruised, as the rules changed every lunch break depending on who had the rarest piece. Kids built mini museums on their beds, lining up every bright, bug-eyed character like priceless artifacts. The real power wasn't in how many you had, but whether you could flash a rare and watch the offers roll in. By the time the next craze landed, most Go-Go's ended up in a shoebox. But for a while, one tiny chunk of plastic could make you playground royalty. Beanie Kids landed under Christmas trees with glossy swing tags and stitched faces, each one an Aussie character with a name, a birthday, and a backstory printed like a birth certificate. The ritual was always the same. The tag gets read out loud, then comes the big question, do you actually cuddle it or does it live on the shelf? The tag protected in a little plastic sleeve like it is suddenly worth a fortune. Some kids risked a bent tag for a proper hug, but plenty of mums swore these bears would be family heirlooms, destined for the top of the wardrobe alongside the baby photos. The Beanie Kids craze swept through the late 90s, with kids comparing collections at school and parents quietly migrating the hunt for rare editions online. For a while, every suburb had at least one house with a shelf full of themed bears, tags pristine, ready for the next collector boom that never quite came. Sentimental? Absolutely. And somehow, those tags still feel more official than your actual birth certificate. Tamagotchi didn't just beep, it took over. In 1997, every Aussie school bag had at least one of those egg-shaped keychains, chirping for food, games, or a digital cleanup at the worst possible moment. 3 buttons, a pixelated pet, and a relentless alarm that could cut through any classroom. Miss a feed? You would find your Tamagotchi belly up, its screen gone gloomy. Some kids shrugged it off, but plenty held backyard funerals complete with popsicle stick gravestones and a few words for dearly departed Sparky or Fluffy. The Sydney Morning Herald even printed letters from kids mourning their digital mates. By 2000, 40 million Tamagotchis had been sold worldwide, Australia right in the thick of the mania. The original craze burned so bright, it's still a punchline for millennial anxiety, training a whole generation to panic over a beep. Modern versions exist, but nothing matches the heartbreak or the chaos of the first wave. For a moment, a dead Tamagotchi was a genuine tragedy. Mighty Beans didn't just crash the playground, they were born right here in Melbourne. Moose Toys launched these weighted wobbly capsules in 2002, and by 2004 more than 100 million had rolled out worldwide. The genius was in the chaos. Each blind pack hid a surprise, and every kid became a connoisseur, shaking the pack in Kmart or Big W trying to guess what rare was inside. Christmas stockings bulged with beans, and the real action started on the footpath. Cardboard ramps got built, races erupted, and the unmistakable clack of beans in your pocket meant you were ready to trade, challenge, or just show off your haul at recess. Some kids chased the ultra rares like they were gold, swapping doubles in the hope of landing that one bean everyone wanted. For a few years, Mighty Beans was the ultimate schoolyard currency. Part collectible, part action sport, all Aussie. The craze came in waves, but nothing felt more homegrown than a Christmas morning spent tearing open packs, plotting trades, and building the perfect ramp. When the fad faded, the beans didn't vanish. They just migrated to a shoebox under the bed, ready for the next nostalgia hit. No other toy captured the thrill of the hunt, the sound of a good trade, and the pride of knowing the best playground craze started right here. Across all 10 toys, one pattern stands out. Aussie Christmas magic was hands-on, full of fads, and fiercely social. These weren't just gifts, they were rituals that shaped how a generation played, traded, and connected. That's why their memory still packs a punch. Which one's your Aussie time capsule pick?